Hi everyone, it's Edge109. The trailer for Crash Bandicoot, It's About Time, has released, and so have a lot of interviews, so there is a lot to go over. I have done my best to collect every single thing we know so far. First, I need to say that the game releases on October 2, 2020 for the PS4 and Xbox One at $60, so the previous image showing October 9 was wrong and was possibly from an older leaked version of the trailer. Also, the $60 price point points to a bigger budget game, so I'm hoping this game has a lot to offer. There is no PC or Switch versions, but according to PC Games and Activision is evaluating additional platforms, so there's a chance that it releases on more platforms in the future. The game is being developed by Toys for Bob, the devs behind the Great Spyro Reignited trilogy. The trailers are in 60 frames per second, however we do not know if this is across all consoles or just some of them. It could be that none of them are 60 frames per second and it's only the trailers like they did for the Insane trilogy. I'm hoping it's 60 frames per second, at least on PS4 Pro, because that's where I'm buying it when it releases. There also hasn't been any info on next-gen versions yet, so I'm curious as to what kind of upgrades PS5 and Xbox Series X will have. Also, for those that care about the trailer song, it's from Fatboy Slim, Funk Soul Brother. Now for the story. So far, we have that the plot for the story picks up at the end of Warped, when Cortex and Entropy are sent into another world in the past. They figured out a way out of that world and ended up tearing a hole in the multiverse. Crash and friends are then tasked with gathering the 4 quantum masks, which are unfortunately spread throughout the multiverse and protected by bosses. They must be gathered in order to restore order to the multiverse. According to a post on Crash Mania, it's entirely possible that alternate versions of established characters will make an appearance. Curiously, at the end of their blog post, Piratano was teased, which we have already seen glimpses of in the leaked merchandise. So this probably explains where that design came from. This has me really curious, and it sounds like we may be jumping through various eras and realities in Crash Bandicoot's history. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about this, and it does not look like they are retconning everything after Warp like some people feared. During the VGA interview, it was mentioned that despite taking place after 3, it is technically the 8th game in the mainline series. So that's great news for fans of the later games, although I am sure some Naughty Dog fans won't like hearing that. As for the look of the game, the first thing I noticed right away is the new art style. The game seemed to have an art style that bears a close resemblance to the Spyro Reignited trilogy. I am not surprised given that Toys for Bob are developing the game. It seems that the devs wanted to give Crash a new look and feeling while still keeping what makes Crash Crash. However, I am not sure how I feel about some of the characters like Cortex and Engine yet. But so far, this looks to be the best looking Crash game in terms of graphics we have ever seen. It feels like Crash has finally received the love it deserves to create a huge new adventure after more than a decade of not getting a new mainline game. I am beyond hyped for this and I can't wait. The games are designed similar to the Naughty Dog games, however some of them will be more open and intricate. Crash, Coco, and Cortex will all be playable. Crash and Coco will have their basic movesets like jump, spin, slide, and body slam. Surfing as well as seen in the videos. However, according to IGN, the game introduces new moves such as wall runs, grind on rails or hanging from rails, upside down platforming, and rope swinging. Crash Mini also brought up that the only returning moves from Warped is double jump, so no tornado spin or Wumpa bazookas, unfortunately. They also mentioned that Wumpa fruits are now gathered automatically once a crate is broken, introducing some quality of life changes to the franchise. Crash and Coco will have moveset parity similar to the Insane trilogy. In the Geoff Keighley interview with Paul Yan, Cortex apparently has more strategic movesets. He will use his ray gun to transform enemies and hazards throughout levels into 2 types of platforms, static, solid, and bouncy platforms, to help him get around. So it's not like Crash or Coco where you can just jump through without planning. It sounds like Cortex levels will be more puzzle-based, so I'm kind of interested in seeing more of that. Additionally, unlike Aku Aku in the past, where you would just put it on Crash's face or Coco's face, getting one of the quantum masks results in Crash and Coco getting a mask suit that grants them never before seen abilities in the Crash franchise. So far, we know the names of 3 of the masks. The first one we ever saw was in the Sony trailer. Her name was Kapuna Wa. She has control over time and allows Crash and Coco to manipulate time in order to control the movement of platforms. And also, Nitro Explosions. It's been seen that she will allow you to slow down time to be able to dodge explosions. The second mask, Ika Ika, has control over gravity. This mask allows Crash and Coco to run on walls and ceilings, allowing for crazy gameplay never before seen. The third mask we know is Lani Loli, but we do not know what its powers are. The same goes for the purple masks. The gameplay we have seen so far seems like an evolution to the Naughty Dog style of platforming. With the abilities of the new mask, it will allow us to explore Naughty Dog type level design with a new modern take. This has me very excited. The levels are said to be more open but still linear to allow for exploration of the levels. In the IGN interview, we also found out that devs have been looking at the difficulty of the game. Because of that, they announced that there will be a modern and a retro mode. In modern mode, there will be a different checkpoint system that we haven't seen yet, but I assume it's the type where if you die, you just respawn. And you'll probably lose some Wumpa fruit at the same time. And we'll have to wait for more info on this. Additionally, in modern mode, the Wumpa fruits serve as just another end-of-level goal and act as currency in the game. I assume it's for buying things like skins, which we have already seen. This is in contrast to retro mode, where Wumpa fruit functions just like in the classic trilogy. Collect 100 Wumpa fruit and earn a life. They did mention extra modes, so I am curious to what these other modes might be. Another thing that we learned, although I'm not sure how accurate it is, on PSN Network it lists 2 to 4 players, so I'm really looking forward to learning more about this. Maybe they'll pull a Crash of the Titans and Mind Over Mutant and allow 2 players to play through the level simultaneously, which has me freaking excited. Bonus and gem paths have been confirmed, as we have seen in the gameplay footage. These 2 images here show them. Time trial mode is also confirmed. In this image, you can clearly see a stopwatch on the left. So I'm really looking forward to these, because time trials are what I like best about the Insane Trilogy. There are no warp rooms, and the level selection will resemble the first game according to Crash Mania. Levels have short cinematic set pieces as seen in some of the footage. The game will have other fruits besides Wumpa fruit as shown in this image. Those more hardcore Crash fans will know that back in the early versions of Crash Bandicoot 1, other types of fruits were planned, so it's pretty cool to see other fruits return. What these other fruits do, I do not know yet. Levels have a clear screen that say in big words level complete, and now have a replay arrow to go back and replay the level as shown in this image. The image came from rapper Quavo, who's a Crash partner and was the first partner to reveal gameplay. Speaking of Twitter, Josh Mansell tweeted, "Many people are asking me if I'm involved with Crash Bandicoot 4. The answer is unfortunately no. I was not expecting to collaborate. I hope the game lives up to and exceeds expectations. I'm a little disappointed to see he won't be coming back to compose this game, but the little bit that I've heard sounds close enough to a Crash game in my opinion. So I am still excited about the soundtrack." With all that summarized, and despite the change in character designs, I can say that without a doubt, this is the most hyped I've ever been for a Crash game. The graphics and gameplay look jaw-dropping. I will for sure buy the game on both PS4 and PS5 to see the differences there are between consoles. All links to all information in this video are included in the pinned comment below. This was definitely the hardest video I ever put together, so I hope you all enjoyed, and thanks for watching.